Welcome to Marriage IQ, the podcast helping you become an intelligent spouse.
I'm Heidi Hastings.
And I'm Scott Hastings. Yabba dabba doo! Hello, you intelligent lovers out there. We are back. Just Heidi and I, saving civilization one marriage at a time. Yes, the past 2 months we've had guests only, as you could tell, as we took a little summer break to attend to some important duties.
And actually, we haven't exactly been sitting around all summer. We've been working on some really fun collaborations with other marriage experts. One of them is the Intimacy Vault that's coming out in September. And it's a collection of resources from marriage and intimacy experts designed to help couples strengthen a lot of different areas of their relationship. We created an assessment and some practical tools for that, so we're going to share it with you in about a month. We're really excited about it. And we've also been collaborating with some of our friends over at the Dating Divas and Get Your Marriage On. They created a really fun couples app called Sparked. It's basically this whole playground for your marriage. Date night ideas, games, quizzes, activities you can do together, plus resources for everything from communication to intimacy. We'll put a link to that in today's episode.
But we're back together again like the Wonder Twins.
Power unite.
Just us and our energy today, our excitement, our message to you that marriage is totally cool and totally scintillating. Yeah. So we have an exciting episode planned for you today, but first we come to you. I come to you begging, pleading, groveling. Please, please, please. It will take you literally 10 seconds to do this. I didn't tell you about this, Heidi.
No. What are you groveling and
I am
pleading
groveling. We've made it a personal goal to reach 1,000 followers on Spotify. If you have not followed us on Spotify, go there now. I'm pleading with you.
He's down on his knees for those of you who are listening and not watching.
Click the follow button. That's it.
And really, I don't know that our listeners know this, but if you click the follow button and then you hit comment, what it does is it triggers the algorithm, whether it's YouTube or Spotify, so it promotes our episode to other people. But if people don't follow us, if people don't leave us comments and we get some conversation going, then we really have a tough time growing. So that's why he's begging and pleading on his knees.
Then tell all your friends to do the same thing. I was thinking about giving out bumper stickers or T-shirts to everyone who did that, and you said
no,
it would cost too much. So what do we do here? A virtual hug?
There you
An
go.
air high five?
There you go.
Okay, we'll do it. Okay, thank you. We love you. All right, you ready to rock?
Yep, ready to rock and roll.
You're ready to sparkle? You ready to scintillate? Yeah, there we go. Great, so are we. Let's jump in today's topic of radical listening. Heidi, I have been doing a little experiment on you the past few weeks.
What?
Did you know that?
Well, you experiment on everything. Everything's about science and data, so it doesn't surprise me, but I'm really curious about what you've been doing an experiment about on me.
I am like a little scientist in my little love laboratory.
All the time.
And you, my love, are my subject. Well, we've talked about this many times on the podcast in the past about the importance of truly listening to your spouse. Like episode 97, the spy techniques that improve communication with Jeremy Horowitz.
Yes. Love Jeremy Horowitz.
We probably quote that episode more than a lot of the others.
Yeah.
Because of the FM DJ voice, right?
That's right.
You really like that.
Remember Lila? What was her name? The FM DJ that would come on at night. And she
the
would,
love songs.
Yeah.
Delilah.
Delilah. She would take requests from phone calls and then she'd play these songs. And I don't have any idea what she looked like, but because her voice was so low and slow, we really tuned in.
Yeah.
We wanted to pay attention. We felt love in the air.
So Jeremy Horowitz, episode 98, the real reason couples feel misunderstood. So go back and listen, episode 97 and 98. So we teach this stuff, right? So we should be experts We should be really good at this.
We should be.
Don't get caught up in the fawning over the expert fallacy. I thought I was a good listener. In fact, one of the attributes I tell myself daily is that I am an elite listener to Heidi. But was I really? The short answer is no, I wasn't. It's not that I didn't want to be a good listener. And living with ADHD makes it a lot harder for me.
Especially at night when anything that you use to help you with that, it's kind of worn off.
Zing! But my listening skills were really put to the test a few weeks ago. We went out to visit a friend in Idaho, good friends of ours. In fact, he went to med school with me, residency with me.
Indiana and Kansas City. They lived with us for 7 years.
He died suddenly, sudden heart attack.
Devastating.
What do you do, right? Like, it was crushing to hear that news for someone that we knew so closely. And I remember sitting in this restaurant for 2 hours, giving undivided, utterly unopposed attention to his grieving wife. Cut that other part out. 2 straight hours. It was exhausting. I have never in my life done anything like that.
Wasn't exhausting to me.
Wow, that was so hard, psychologically hard. And I talked to Heidi about it. Why is it so hard for me to listen all the way down the row without responding?
And by responding, just to clarify, do you mean without saying anything, or do you mean without inputting your perspective on things?
Well,
because I think you did a fair job of saying things like, wow, or that's so hard, or
yeah, well,
I can't believe it.
That was the example of me doing it right.
Okay.
And it was hard. That's my point. It was excruciating psychologically, because I'm like, she just lost her husband.
Yeah.
I have to full court press on here, right? So to answer your question, without me maybe giving my perspective, or without me trying to solve a problem for you.
Okay. Or tell her what she should do, or tell her, well, at least.
Right.
At least you've got the girls still, or at least, I don't know what you might have said.
Yeah. Other offensive words to say when people are grieving. Don't say the words at least.
Yeah. I was really proud of you.
Part of my problem, not really a problem, more like a collider, is my profession. Listening profoundly for a few minutes, asking a few direct and probing questions, and then coming up with a medical solution many times a day. I just kind of took it home with me without realizing it and started treating you like a patient. What kind of profession do you work in out there? Let us know. Does it cause you to terminate intimate conversations at your home prematurely? Are you bringing your work home with you? Even noting this data and trying it out in real time, I was unavailable and unable to listen all the way to you because I shifted back into my doctor mode.
Which makes you the expert, right?
Yeah, right. It was uncomfortable for me to hear you speak about your reactions to something that I did or was involved with without interrupting you to defend myself. That was hard. Not that you were attacking me. I just wanted to set the record straight so you didn't keep thinking something I thought was incorrect. Instead, I let my default reaction network take off whenever I felt even a little bit psychologically uncomfortable with you. I start feeling my heart rate kind of pick up. My mind begins to race to find evidence for my defense, and my speech becomes really pressured and louder.
Yeah.
You know all about that.
And the arm motions get
bigger and bigger.
And the expressions on your face get more intense. And not like anger. It's not like that, but
yes.
Very dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Yeah.
Arg.
That's insight right there.
Luckily, I remembered that we also talked in the past about this taking a lifetime to learn, right?
Yeah.
So pressure's kind of off
Woo.
a little bit, right? It's going to take us a lifetime. So let's fast forward to date night last night, because
Okay.
that was a good night. It went a little bit better, right?
It was great.
So you discussed this need for me during Fanos, during one of our nightly walks, about me listening better to you.
Yeah, Fanos is a communication tool. If you're new to Marriage IQ, go back to the episode called 3 Communication Tools. And we explain in depth about Fanos, or you can find it on our website.
Yeah. Fanos is kind of one of those things where it's a default. It helps us if we're getting lost. We get to push reset, go on a nightly walk and do our Fanos. And one of those items is you need me to do something for you. And one of them was to listen to you better.
And I also told you what I appreciated about you, specifically listening to me during our date last night.
You liked it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You felt heard, right? That's awesome. So I thought I was doing everything right. And in the end, my experiment showed that I was doing things very wrong. Well, let's jump into the scientific literature, shall we? That's what I like to do.
Sure.
Lorino in 1998, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology discuss what makes a conversation intimate between two spouses. Now, this isn't a conversation where you feel necessarily heard, but that you feel very intimate with me. I think there's a difference. We're talking about radical listening here.
So
This
instead of just, I'm listening to you give facts, or I'm listening to you tell about your day, it's more intimate than that. I'm truly interested, engaged, and invested in what you're talking about.
Right. And you might be opening up to me about something really vulnerable.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. This isn't just like, weather's good, how was your day kind of a thing.
I think Brene Brown talks a lot about vulnerability creates connection. And really that's what we want when we're talking about intimacy. But if I can't be vulnerable because the doctor shows up to tell me what's right and what's wrong, instead of just letting me express, then the intimacy won't go as deeply as it could. And we do get to really deep, intimate conversations from time to time. Mm-hmm. But I think what you're talking about is learning the skills for that.
Right. If you can't feel vulnerable in your spouse because of poor listening skills, then you're kind of cut off at the pass, right? Mm-hmm. So we're helping you learn that today. So what makes a conversation intimate between two spouses? As we said earlier, self-disclosure. And secondly, partner responsiveness. That is the one listening. In this study, Lorino found if you are the speaker, you're the one telling the story, the intimate story, the biggest predictor of how that was perceived as intimate by you was how you perceived me receiving it.
Okay, so let me see if I got this right. I'm being vulnerable.
Yes.
I'm talking to you. If I see you pick up your phone or check what time it is, or be watching the people at the next table at the restaurant, or you kind of have glazed over eyes, and my perception is you're not with me, this isn't a safe place to talk about whatever vulnerable thing I'm talking about. It's more based upon my perception than what you were actually doing.
So I could be sitting there thinking, I'm looking straight at her. I'm looking right at your eyes. I am nodding my head. But none of that matters. The only thing that matters is your perception of how deeply I'm invested in what you're saying. That was the biggest predictor of perception of intimate communication, the speaker's perception.
I would say that's probably accurate, at least from my perspective.
Yeah. Well, so did they.
Yeah. Well, there's another study. According to Harry Rice and Philip Shaver, this deep level of intimate listening requires 3 huge ingredients. The first one's understanding. So the listener accurately perceives the speaker's feelings and needs. The second thing is they need validation. So the listener is conveying respect for the speaker's emotional reality without judgment. And then the third thing is caring. So the listener is showing genuine concern for the speaker's well-being.
Whew. I thought I was already doing that. Not. Was I not understanding you? Was I not validating you?
You know what you're really, really good at? You're super good at me talking, there being a 10-second pause, and then you still being able to go back in your brain somewhere, catch what I said, and respond to it. I have no clue how you do it. It's really a gift, but it doesn't really express the validation, the understanding, or the caring. Mm-hmm. It shows you have a superpower that's really awesome. You can not listen, and then your brain can regurgitate for you what I said.
Little birds regurgitate food for their, regurgitation's not all bad. So I didn't care about and for you while listening, right?
And I do it too, right? If we're on our phone, on our computer, doing other things while we're talking, when it's an intimate conversation. We're not going to have those kind of conversations with everybody, but we will with people that we really care about.
Right. And I thought I was doing it all right. I mean, we teach this stuff. So the perceived partner responsiveness makes all the difference. It doesn't matter so much how invested I was in your intimate sharing, as much as it's how you perceived how attentive and compassionate I was. Another study by Wasserman in 2022 in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, and another study by Joel in 2020 found that by far the most important component of determining the depth of intimate communications between spouses was this perceived partner responsiveness.
Which is really another way of saying deep listening.
Deep listening. In fact, in that study that Joel did of over 11,000 couples, perceived partner responsiveness and commitment made up almost half of all the answers as to why the satisfied couples were satisfied.
So in other words, because they thought their partner was intimately listening to them with understanding, with validation, and with caring, they're happier in their marriage.
Right. All the way around, by far.
Simple way to say it. Dr. Sue Johnson, the creator of emotionally focused therapy, demonstrated that deep listening acts as an attachment safety mechanism. That reminds me of Dr. Sue Johnson, who's the creator of emotionally focused therapy, or EFT. And she talks about how deep listening really helps us be able to attach more deeply. It's a part of attachment. And if our partner's not really listening to us that deeply, then it's hard to be more attached to them. But she talks about how when we really have that deep, intimate listening, 3 attachment questions are satisfied. The first one is, are you accessible to me? Or are you off somewhere else in your brain? Or do you have other priorities?
Do I have you? Do I have your brain?
Yep. The second one is, are you responsive to me? Are you acting like you are listening, or are you truly listening in a way that allows you to respond to me? And then the third one is, are you emotionally engaged with me? And that's where we start getting to go deeper.
So I think too, people who have, like, say, anxious attachment, where it might be a little bit harder to have intimate relationships with, I think it makes it easier for them to have a satisfactory relationship when they can feel that intimate, close communication.
Yeah, that my needs are being met, because their childhood may have taught them that their needs aren't going to be met. And that's when they start pulling away or start coming in too needy. But I think spouses can really feel insecure generally when they believe that they're not being listened to or heard, especially in that deep way.
Look, we all have idiosyncrasies, how we listen, right? Like for you, you might nod your head or you might lean in a little bit. That's given me a cue over time that you are very interested, invested in what I'm doing. Because we've had this relationship for a while. I'm learning this is body language, but it's learned body language. Some people might be better at reflecting, or they might be better at intensely looking or touch. But there are some things that I've learned from you over time in our relationship that I know, okay, she is deeply listening. You generally listen very well just off the bat, but I know that you tend to focus in on our conversation. You ask questions that are very probing. And so I know that you are deeply invested. Other people might not ask as many questions, but still maybe, lean in and focus, zero in, nod their head. What habits with all of your personality quirks reinforce your confidence or your spouse's confidence that you are invested? Listen up, folks. Words matter. They do matter, but sometimes they don't. And this is one of those times, right? Sometimes the most deeply intimate moments between two people is when there is very little talking from the listener or even no talking. Sounds crazy, right? So Heidi, what was it about last night's date specifically, our date night?
That's a great question.
Helped you feel like I was in the zone with you?
Yeah. So I was expressing some really vulnerable parts about trying to figure out who I am and explore this part of life where some things have shifted a little bit, where I want my business and my career to go, how I want our interactions together in this business to go. And you looked at me. I could tell it was so hard for you. Sometimes I could see you wandering, but you would really push yourself to come back. And that was a big deal, even though it wasn't perfect. The fact that you
could see me trying so hard.
The fact that you were trying so hard really meant a lot. Instead of giving me your opinion on things, you just listened to me and let me express some of my things. When you give me your opinion a lot, like the medical expert, I tend to not rely on my own decision making. I tend to rely on your expert opinion, and we're trying to work really hard on shifting that. And it does take listening. So you did that. I think you would touch my hand every once in a while. You would give me some positive things like, that's a really cool idea. Or, I think you're spot on with that. Just little comments like that. It wasn't you just sitting there not saying anything, kind of giving me a little bit of validation to keep exploring the ideas that I was trying to. Yeah.
So you felt heard.
Yeah.
And deeply connected to.
And you weren't looking at your watch. You weren't looking at your phone. You were there with me for the duration of however long it took me to get things out.
Even though a sudden thunderstorm completely derailed our plans for the restaurant we were going to go. And we ended up at some random Thai restaurant.
We were flexible.
Plano.
Yep.
Oh, it was all good.
And that part right there was the highlight of the whole evening. Just being able to go way deeper and for me to feel heard. What I hear you saying, Scott, is that deep listening actually takes really intense psychological work.
Severe psychological work. This is not easy.
Okay.
It's severe.
Okay. So first of all, we got to be able to manage our emotional flooding. When you talked about me having an opinion or desire different than what yours is, how you would kind of feel it in your body, that makes you uncomfortable. And when you get uncomfortable, you want to start speaking and getting bigger and defending or explaining or validating yourself.
And judging.
And what you're saying is just pull that back.
Yeah, Gottman says non-judgmental listening shuts down when this flooding happens.
Okay. So being able to sit in discomfort, just breathe deeply or whatever it takes to just be like, I can float through this emotional flooding that's happening in me. Suppression of defensiveness is another thing that you were talking about. David Schnarch, that we really like and quote on here often, says that non-judgmental listening requires intense emotional differentiation. That means you're different from me. I'm different from you. And we have different opinions. We're not trying to fix each other's.
No, fixing.
We're listening to each other without it getting us too emotionally flooded.
No fixing.
That's right.
The third thing is a cognitive load. So Gottman found that active listening was so emotionally taxing that almost nobody could sustain it. So meaning they had 130 couples in there, and it was so overwhelming for them that almost no one could sustain this emotional intelligence in real time, which is hard, right? That's part of our lifetime of learning. So then what are we supposed to do? I think jump in the water with your spouse. If they're in the freezing river, you just jump in with them. That's my answer. What do you think?
I think it takes practice, just like going to the gym.
Well,
just like,
but I can't get to know you, what you're feeling right now, unless I'm jumping in with you.
That's right.
I'm feeling what you're feeling. That's the only way to really understand you.
Or you're probing with enough curiosity that you can feel what I feel.
All right, let's go over some listening myths before we wrap up, shall we?
Sure.
So, number one, a good listener says words all the time. False. We talked about that earlier. Actual words make up a minority of intimate conversation. A lot of it, as we said, is body language, engaged eye contact, leaning in, nodding our head, matching that emotional energy with our spouse. They're all so important. Number two, some words are trite when they're said often.
True.
False. That must be really hard.
Why is that false? I think some words can be trite.
That is false. It's how you say them. That's the difference. So I think what I'm getting at is, what is the meaning behind these words? How are the words delivered? And you can use lots of words over and over again if they're delivered in a way that's very meaningful.
So here's one that I hear a lot. I love that for you.
Well, how is it said? Right?
Right.
I love that for you. They don't care, right?
That's
when you
kind of-
hear that.
That's kind of what I feel.
But what if I said, I really love that for you? Like, that is awesome.
That is
You see the difference?
Yep, that's much better.
So like words like, you know, that must really be hard.
Yeah, that can sound really trite.
That can sound trite unless you are really meaning it.
Yeah.
God, that must really be hard.
That was much better. I would feel,
Because I'm jumping in the river with you. That's why.
okay, gotcha.
That cold, icy river, I'm jumping in. So back to, some words are trite when they're said often. False. You said it was true. I said it's false. And this is
You
why.
explained why, and I agree with you now. Okay.
Okay. Number three, good listening skills can't be taught.
False.
You're just born with them. That is false, right? I think a lot of men might think this. I don't know how to listen, or, you know, it's a gender thing, which is probably true. Number four, once I get all these good listening skills in my tool belt, I will always be a great listener. That is false. Sorry, just ask us. You know? So what can you do this week to become a better listener? Sit with yourself and discover what you normally do when you're actively excited and interested in discovering something new. For some of you, it might be a new stock tip, a new cave to explore, a new computer code, a new trip somewhere, something that really excites you. And then pay attention to how you pay attention. Then try it on your spouse. Try listening all the way through with full attention to your spouse and jump in that river with them. Listen actively. Listen excruciatingly.
Ooh. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
That sounds painful.
This requires intense psychological work.
Do you really think that people are willing to put in the intense psychological work to have really amazing marriages?
The intelligent spouse will.
Good, I hope so.
And get this book. It's The Lost Art of Listening. It's by Michael Nichols, Martha Strauss, that we've used here on this podcast before. Some excellent insights on that. They kind of support what we talked about today.
About how listening can improve relationships. Thanks, everybody, for being with us today on Marriage IQ. And we'll see you next week on another exciting episode of
Marriage IQ.